Morning. Today I'm going to do a really simple fresh makeup, nice bright lip, nice glittery eye. Probably doesn't actually sound that simple, but there you go. I'm going to start with a little bit of the Calming Mist from Dr. Jart. Now, I see loads of different techniques and things on TikTok about which order to put things on in, so I'm just having a little experiment with what I've seen, and I'm going to go in with some Murad primer next. Now, you'll know from the videos, I don't always use a primer, but especially this last week or so, I've noticed a little bit more texture in my skin. So I'm just going to smooth over the areas that seem to have a bit more texture, which is like my forehead and the sides of my nose. And I'm not going to put it absolutely everywhere, but I just want a little bit of an extra smoothing factor anywhere that feels a little bit more rough. There we go. And then I'm going to go over the top of that with my IT Cosmetics CC cream. And I'm just going to I'm going to use the Bobbi Full Coverage Face Brush today. If you're new here, by the way, lovely to have you. There's a few new faces recently. I get lots of questions about the IT Cosmetics CC cream. And on this page, there's a playlist with lots of different IT Cosmetics videos, like how best to use it, how to colour match, things like that. Colour matching is a really big one. There is a highlight. If you click onto my main profile, there's a little highlight with tips and tricks on how to colour match. The easiest thing to do, to be honest, if you just go onto the website, there's a live chat function and the girls will match you, no bother at all. I say the girls because I know the girls that work on the live chat. But there's loads of other ways as well. Like if you know what you wear in another brand, you could visit Foundation and you type in what you wear in your other brand, and they'll give you the equivalent IT Cosmetics shade. So just have a little deep dive. As I say, there's a whole IT Cosmetics playlist in my IGTVs. And also, just in general, if you're new and there's something in particular you're kind of hoping to learn about, always leave a comment and ask. I love just kind of going back to specific things. But also, there's a playlist called, I'm trying to get my concealer right in there. There's a playlist called At Home Beauty School, and I basically started that in the absolute beginning of lockdown, and I tried to cover kind of single things at a time, like eyeliner techniques or how to get your makeup to last all day, stop it from separating, things like that. So have a little look. There might be an answer in there, and if not, always feel free to leave me a comment. Because to be honest with you, I love doing it like this because sometimes you wake up and you're fresh out of ideas, whereas if someone has asked for something, there you go, that's you done for the day. Okay, I'm going to go in now with some of the Laura Mercier loose setting powder. And I kind of pick that up on the brush, tap the excess off in the lid, and then I've gone a little bit heavy with that, but never mind. I feel like with loose powders sometimes you can accidentally put quite a bit on. But the nice thing is with them being translucent, you can just buff it out and no harm was done. I'm going to take a little bit all over actually. I've got quite a few zooms and things today, so I'm just giving it that extra bit of lasting power. And I'm going to go for a makeup. I love browsing TikTok. Honestly, the holes you fall into. This morning I was looking at all these people's past life experiences. I can never quite call where I'm going to end up finding myself on any given day. But I love seeing how people wear their makeup, and half the time it's someone sharing like a cleaning tip and I'll print screen it and want to do makeup like that. So I saw this makeup on somebody the other day. Really simple. I'm just going in with some Brow Power pencil, by the way. Really simple, bright red lip, a bit of a glittery eye, tiny bit of eyeliner. So that's what I'm going to do. Now, I'm using my regular brow pencil. This is the one I always use, to be honest. It's the Brow Power from IT Cosmetics. But what I'm going to try over the top of it is I spotted on the Collection website this kind of brow fixing wax. Now, Collection 2000 fame, they're literally one of my favourite high street brands that I feel like you don't actually hear an awful lot about. Well, I don't tend to hear an awful lot about them on people's pages that I follow, but I just think they're really great. If you're looking for that kind of high street budget things, really rate them as a brand. And there's a few things I use a lot, but they've very kindly given me a few bits to play with that I haven't tried before, and this was one of them. So it's like a wax stick. Now, my brow pencil has got a spoolie at the end of it, but you know, for this kind of soap brow situation where your brows are quite flat to the face and then you brush them up, I feel like this will be lovely. And I mean, it's a few pounds. It's hardly the price of a lot of things I've seen on Instagram at the moment. Like, for example, I'm not saying it's the same thing because I haven't tried it, so I can't do a direct comparison. But I've seen lots of people mention the Anastasia Brow Freeze, which looks brilliant. But this probably gives you a similar effect for nowhere near the price. I'm really happy with that. So yeah, just have a little look at them whenever you're, I mean, let's be honest, we're not looking around the shops at the moment, are we? But for future times, it's good to know. I'm going to come on to it in a minute, but I also bought this L'Oreal telescopic mascara. I've been trying to really do my own research on all the things that seem to have been quite popular during lockdown. So I'm doing a little test and learn to see how things are. Now, back to this makeup. I'm not going to use any primer because I want this to be like a wash rather than a really dense colour. But I'm going to take, this is, I always get muddled up with the translucents. This is the Peaches Glitter in Hollywood. Now, it looks like a white pot of glitter in here, but it kind of gives this reflective quality. I'm literally going to take this on a Peaches PC35. And I'm just going to really gently press this onto the lids. And as I say, this is going to be a really simple wash of colour. Really nice for just something a bit different that's not too try-hard, that takes 2 seconds. And you can get a really dense wash of colour if you were to mix this with a mixing medium or a primer or something like that. But I just want a tiny bit of sparkle. So I'm tilting my head back so that I'm preventing, if I was to keep my face quite upright, I'm going to get loads of this glitter down my face, which I don't want. I just want that nice little wash, little bit of something for my zooms. It's that soft that it's a bit like, is it there, is it not there? At this point of lockdown, why not just experiment is my motto. So I'm just going to go in with some liquid liner. I used this over eyeshadow yesterday, so I'm going to take off any excess and then go straight in and draw on 2 really little dainty flicks. I'm going to go in now with this telescopic mascara. I've not used it before. It's a little kind of plastic brush, so let's have a look. Okay, in fairness, I've only done 1 layer of that on the top, and I have to say that is very, very impressive. The brush, you kind of roll it around and there's several little layers of lines, and what that means is it's made them really separated and very, very lengthening. See what I mean? Absolutely brilliant for lengthening, but a bit of a challenge to do those bottom lashes nice and tidily. So I'm just going to tidy up. Now, what I have done in tidying up is just removed some of my under eye. So I'm going to just try, this is the Lasting Perfection Concealer from Collection. I think I've put loads on there, so I'm going to buff that right the way out with a nice little, this is the Bobbi Full Coverage Touch-Up Brush. I'm not going to go right up to the eye line because I think that can sometimes look a bit artificial. I'm just going to try and buff this It's quite a full formula, I will say. There we go. Okay, now really simply, I'm just taking off some of this liner and things from the back of my hand. I'm going to go in with a little bit of the Peaches and Cream bronzing powder in light to medium, and I'm going to take this through the temples, through the high points of the cheeks, around the hairline, a tiny bit down the nose, just anywhere that the sun would naturally kiss if it was nice and sunny. That little patch of my forehead, I always have to really nestle the brush into it. I've got a little cow's lick there. So we've all got those things, haven't we, that we have to contend with. And then I'm going to go in with my Vive blusher in Cherub. Gonna put it out there. Nicest new blusher I've had in I don't know how long. Do you know what's really fascinating as well? If I show you this up close, I hope you can see. You know when you get a new product and it's got that kind of cushioned texture to it? I'm just using my iPhone. I don't know if you can see what I mean. Maybe you can from far away. I've used this several times and it's still, the print of that has stayed really neat. I just think that's really interesting. Because usually once you've done one sweep of something, all that nice print has gone. So that's really nice. I literally, the other day, I noticed it. I was looking at it thinking, I've used that, and I ran my finger in it like this, and that print has stayed nice and fresh. Now, I've got a nice Felicia blush. I've got my glitter on. I don't want to go completely overboard, but I want to add some illumination. This is one of the Hourglass strobe lights. This is incandescent. What I like about this is it does give you a nice kind of radiant glow, but this is a nice highlighter for you if you don't want your highlighter to look shiny or glittery. It pretty much looks like healthy skin. This one, as you can see, is quite cool. So you can by default tell that I've used a highlighting product. But if you were to go for one in a really similar colour to your complexion, it will just look like healthy skin. So I'm going to use that to soften the lines of that blush to just add a bit of radiance. And then I'm so excited about this. I know I keep going on about it, but I just think Lisa Armstrong's Avon things are lovely. This is a liner and lipstick that she's made for Bryony Blake, Bryony's colour. And as soon as I saw that, it's such a lovely colour, but I thought that is the kind of colour you would always see Bryony in. Oh gosh, I've thrown it everywhere. So I'm going to go in with my liner. There we go. And then I'm going to go in with lipstick in Bryony. There we go. And Bryony is on my first Zoom this morning, so I'm going to wear this and not tell her and see if she notices. But anyway, I hope you enjoyed. Let me know if there's anything in particular you want to see. And also, I forgot to say, I mean, I've just had that big balls up with my eyeliner, so I don't know if this is the right time to broach the subject. But I'm doing a free masterclass with Space NK on Friday. It's a full IT Cosmetics masterclass. It's going to be all about eye makeup, and literally the whole brief for the masterclass is you tell me what you want to see and I'll create it. So you can bring your IT Cosmetics things, you can bring whatever makeup you've got, bring your brushes, work along with me. I really like doing these masterclasses because it's just nice, because at the moment I'm talking to you in a video, whereas in a masterclass you can just chip in and go, hang on a minute, you've just said something there I don't understand, or whatever it might be. So you're really welcome to come to that. I'm going to put the link, if you tap the arrow at the top of this video, I'll put everything that I've used, a link to join, all of that kind of thing. But it'd be lovely to see you there. Okay, I'll talk to you soon.